Good morning. Today we will have Review in Math Questions Part 3. First question. These first 5 numbers in a sequence are 2, 3, 5, 8, and 12. What is the 7th number in the sequence? So we are looking for the 7th number of the sequence. Thus, we have to know the pattern first before makaibaw unsa ang 7th na number. So is it letter A, 15, B, 19, C, 25, D, 23? So the pattern here is simply this one. 2 plus 1 equals 3. Now, ang confusion ani is basin Fibonacci sequence, but this is not a Fibonacci sequence. So this is simply like this. Do you still remember Fibonacci sequence? Fibonacci sequence is simply adding the two na nag-una nga number like this one. 2 plus 3, 5. And then 3 plus 5, 8. So that is Fibonacci sequence. 5 plus 8, well, it's not 12. So obviously, it's not Fibonacci sequence. So this is the sequence for this given pattern. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 5, 17. 17 plus 6, 23. Thus, 23 is our 7th number. So this is the pattern adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. For question number 1, our answer is 23. Next is number 2. Arthos has blended coffee worth 95 pesos per kilogram with coffee worth 115 pesos per kilogram to make 50 kilogram of coffee that will be sold at 107 pesos per kilogram. How many kilograms of each kind did he blend? A. 30 kilos of 95 pesos per kilogram and 30 kilos of 115 pesos per kilogram. B. 60 kilos of 95 pesos per kilogram and 30 kilos of 115 pesos per kilogram. C. 30 kilos of 95 pesos per kilogram and 50 kilos of 115 pesos per kilogram. D. 20 kilos of 95 pesos per kilogram and 30 kilos of 115 pesos per kilogram. What do you think is the answer? Anyone? Well, obviously, class, no, kaninga question, klaro kayo ang answer. No need to solve. It's because you want to have a 50 kilogram of coffee. Now, based on this, if you're going to add all, ang letter D ramay na 50 kilogram, like 20 plus 30, that's 50 kilograms. Sometimes in the questions, you really have to understand the question and what is the answer, so you can answer it directly without a solution. Anyway, we need, obviously it's letter D, but let's try to have the solution. Okay, so let's have this. So this is the question, and we have this table. So we have two kinds of coffee here, so we'll just name it as coffee A and coffee B. For coffee A, let X be coffee A, so the number of kilogram, and coffee B is 50 minus X. Why is this 50 minus X? Because the total is 50 kilogram. So 50 kilogram minus X, that is 50 minus X. Now let me explain this. If ang total is 20, example lang, or 50 na lang, ang total kay 50. If ang X kay 20, so pila imuhang coffee B? So simply 50 minus 20. If ang X nimo 50 nga, ang X nimo 25 na sad. So basically, your coffee B is 50 minus 25. So this is how you represent. Given the total, which is 50, let be the variable X. Thus, the other one should be 50 minus X. So this is how you represent. Miss, pwede ang X nako kay ang B? Pwede. So if this is your X, so therefore, coffee A is 50 minus X. So that's how it is represented. Now, for coffee A, 95 pesos is the price, while coffee B, 115 pesos. That mixture will be sold at 107 pesos. you just simply multiply. You have 95x, and then 50 minus x times 115, and 50 times 107. Okay. So in this case, we will have our equation already. So the equation here is 95x plus 115, 50 plus x plus 107 times 50. Okay, so this is how we equate, and this is the equation for this questions. For this question, so you have the number of coffee and the amount of coffee, and then iyang price. So we have, first is we do distribution. 115 times 50, that is 5,750. 115 times negative x is negative 115x. You multiply this, pwede ra manually or use your calculator. 107 times 50 is 5,350. Combined like terms. So how do you combine like terms? Try to check now by common variable. So we have 2x here. So these are common. Common silang a variable. You can combine that one. So 95 minus 95 minus 115 is negative 20x. And this one, you transpose or additive inverse. You will have 5,350 minus 5,750, and that will arrive with this answer, negative 400. Divide both sides by negative 20, you will have x equals 20. So our answer is obviously letter D. If x is 20, therefore your coffee is 50 coffee B is 50 minus 20, which is 30. So 20 kilos of 95 pesos per kilogram and 30 kilos of 115 pesos per kilogram. So that is your answer for number 3. Okay. Number 4, a Victor liner bus traveling at rate of 70 km per hour leaves the station 2 hours after a freight truck has left and overtake it in 5 hours. At what rate was the freight truck traveling? A, 20 km per hour, B, 50 km per hour, C, 30 km per hour, or letter D, 40 km per hour. So this is so abstract. Let's make it concrete. We have this tabular form. So we have the bus and the truck. The rate of the bus is 70 km per hour, while the truck is unknown. And in fact, we are looking for the rate of the truck. The time here is 5 hours and 7 hours. Now, why does our bus is 5 hours and our truck is 7 hours? As you can see in the problem, the bus travel or leaves the station 2 hours after the truck. So, it only means that nag-una o biyahe ang truck og 2 hours, then after 2 hours, ni biyahe na sad ang bus. Ni overtake ang bus in 5 hours. So, basically, 5 hours ragyud ang travel sa bus. So, 5 hours ang travel sa bus, while the truck is 7 hours. 5 hours plus 2 hours. The distance here is 350 and 7x. Always remember that distance equals rate times time. So, you simply multiply 70 and 5, 350, and 7 and x. So, you will have 7x. Now, what is the equation? The equation here is we can really equate 350 and 7x because the distance traveled by the bus is just equal to the distance traveled by the truck. So, pariha ra sila gi-travel. So, equal ra gyud sila ang distance niya. So, we have here 7x equals 350. So, divide both sides by 7, you will have 50. Thus, our answer is 50 kilometer per hour. So, always check what does x represent. It doesn't mean nga, x diri 50, diritso na din ka mangita as answer. You have to check what does x represent. So happen that we are looking for the rate. So, and x represents the rate. So, 50 is really our answer. So, that is how to solve this question number 4. Number 5. Don Antonio invested part of 30,000 pesos at 5% interest and the remaining amount at 6% interest at BPI. If his investment yields an annual income of 1,620 pesos, how much did he invest at 6% interest? A. 12,000 pesos, B. 16,000 pesos, C. 18,000 pesos, D. 14,000 pesos. This is the table for this problem. You have the principal, rate, and interest. For the A as your first investment and B as your BPI investment and the total investment. The total investment is 30,000. Thus, we can represent B as X and A as 30,000 minus X. The rate for A is 5%, the rate of B is 6%. Now for the interest, we multiply the principal and the rate. So we have here 5%, 0.05 times the quantity of 30,000 minus X. 6% is 0.06 times X. And here, the total interest is 1,620 pesos. It is given. We do understand that the interest A plus the interest of B should equal to the total interest 1,620. Thus, this is our equation to solve the problem. We multiply and distribute this. 0.05 times 30,000 is 1,500, and 0.05 times X is negative 0.05X plus 0.06X equals 1,620. Now we combine like terms. You will have negative 0.05X plus 0.06X is 0.01X. And then you transpose it or additive inverse, you will have 1,620 minus 1,500 is 120. Divide both sides, we will have an answer of 12,000. So the answer for number 5 is letter A. 12,000 pesos was invested at 6% interest. That's number 5. Let's have number 6. 5 banana weigh as much as 3 star apples. In this rate, how many star apples will weigh as much as 45 bananas? A. 27, B. 30, C. 36, D. 33. So in this case, we will have ratio and proportion. 5 bananas is 3 star apple equals 45 bananas. How many star apple? We have here, you cross multiply. 45 times 3 is 135. 5 times x is 5x. Divide both sides by 5. X is 27. Thus, our answer is letter A, 27 star apple for 45 bananas. Number 7. If a picture frame is 27 centimeter long and 18 centimeter wide, what is the ratio of its length to its width? A. 2:3, B. 3:5, C. 3:2, D. 5:3. In this case, we will have 27 over 18 since we are looking for the ratio length to its width. So we have here, divide the numerator and denominator by 9 to reduce it to its lowest term, 3 over 2, or 3:2. Our answer for number 7 is letter C, 3:2. A. Which among of the following has the largest perimeter? A. Rectangular pizza with dimension 10 cm by 14 cm. B. Square pizza with perimeter of 80 centimeter. C. Circular pizza with radius 8.5 centimeter. D. Circular pizza with radius of 13 centimeter. For letter A, it's rectangles. The perimeter equals 2 times the quantity of length times width, or 2L plus 2W. Thus, 10 plus 14 times 2 is 48 centimeter. For B, it's a square pizza, but we don't need to solve for the perimeter because it is already given that the perimeter is 80 centimeter. So this is a trick question. Some of the students will really solve for the perimeter considering 80 is the side, and the formula I'm finding perimeter if it's a square is 4s, or s plus s plus s plus s. Now in this case, we will not solve it because 80 centimeter is already the perimeter. C. The perimeter of a circle is the circumference. So we have here 2 pi r. So 2 times pi times 8.5 as the radius, you will have 17 pi and approximately 53.407 centimeter. And for letter D, it's still circular pizza. Thus, you have 2 pi r, 2 times pi times 13 as the radius, you will have 26 pi, approximately 81.681 centimeter. A perimeter is actually the distance around a polygon. Now in this case, the answer is letter D. 81.6 is the highest and the largest perimeter. So you will have the answer D, circular pizza with radius of 13 centimeter. 9. Which of the following length is the longest? A. 555 centimeter. B. 5.5 meter. C. 0.005 kilometer. D. 5 millimeter. Now for letter A, we need to convert all in 1 unit. So we will have meter. So for letter A, 555 centimeter multiplied by this ratio, 1 meter over 100 centimeter. This means that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. Thus, our answer is 5.55 meter. As you can see, we can cancel centimeter here, and what is left is the unit meter. For letter B, it is as is because the unit is already 5.5. For letter C, you have 0.05 kilometer. We know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meter. You will have an answer of 5 meter. And for letter D, we have 5,555 millimeter, and we multiply that by the ratio that 1 meter is 1,000 millimeter. Thus, we have an answer of 5.555 meter. In this case, the longest is letter D, 5,555 millimeter. Let's have number 10. You owe a small rectangular box measuring 3 centimeter by 2 centimeter. If the dimension of this box are increased by 10%, what is the area of the resulting box? A. 7.12 square centimeter. B. 7.26 square centimeter. C. 6.22 square centimeter. D. 6.26 square centimeter. In this case, we will have the formula A equals L multiplied by W. It only means that area is equal to length times width. Now in this case, we have the length, which is 3, and the width, which is 2. Since it is increased by 10%, we multiply it by 1.1. This is a way for me in solving this, since we are looking for 10%. meaning 100% plus 10%. And that is the change. Now in this case, this is the reason why I multiply it by 1.1, because you have this as 3, the 100%, which is 3, plus it is increased by 10%, which is 0.1. So that is 1.1 as a whole. We multiply that by 2 multiplied by 1.1. Thus our answer is 7.26 square centimeter. That is letter B. Let's proceed to 11. Paul and his son participated in a marathon. Paul traveled 3 kilometers, 50 meter, while his son ran 502 meter, 36 centimeter. What is the total distance they covered? A. 3,760 meter. B. 3,552.36 meter. C. 3,550 meter. D. 5,452.36 meter. As you can see, for the choices, it's meter. Now, it is logical for us to convert all of these units to meter. So we have here 3 kilometer, convert that to meter, you multiply that by 1,000 meter over 1 kilometer. You have 50 meter, you just copy that one because the unit is already meter. You have here 36 centimeter, thus 1 meter is 100 centimeter. Now we have here, multiply this, 3 kilometer times 1,000, you will have 3,000 meter plus 50 meter plus 502 meter and 0.36 meter. So our answer is here, the distance is, the total distance is 3,552.36, and that is letter B. Let's have 12. The measure of an angle is 25 more than its supplement. What is the measure of the larger angle? A. 77.5 degrees. B. 102.5 degrees. C. 110 degrees. D. 90 degrees. Let X be the supplement angle. Now, if you have problem solving, you really assign X to the one that describes the other. So in this case, the angle is 25 more than its supplement. The angle is described in terms of the supplement. So it only means you cannot describe this angle without first defining the supplement. So this is the reason why that our X must be the supplement, meaning we define first the supplement so we can define the angle. You will understand it better here. Now, since we know that X is the supplement, we can now identify or define or represent the larger angle. The larger angle is X plus 25. Since this angle is 25 more than its supplement. So the supplement is X, you add 25. So we can easily define this angle since the X supplement is already defined in terms of X. Now we have the smaller angle, which is X, because that is the supplement. In this case, when we say supplement, two angles or the sum of the two angles must be 180 degrees. So you have here X plus 25 plus X equals 180. So combined like terms, X and X, 2X, 25 additive. So you have 2X equals 155. You divide both sides by 2, so you will have 77.5. And remember that the larger angle is x plus 25, so you will have 77.5 plus 25 is 102.5. Our answer for this number is letter B, 102.5 degrees. 13. Which among the following statements is always false? A. Complements of congruent angles are congruent. B. Two intersecting lines form two pairs of vertical angles. C. Two adjacent right angles are supplementary. D. Angles that form a linear pair are complementary. It is obvious that the answer is letter D. A, B, and C are all true. And in this case, when angles form a linear pair, thus it is supplementary, not complementary. Supplementary, it only means that from a straight line, linear pair, there is two angles from a straight line. If it's a straight line, it's 180 degrees, not 90 degrees. Complementary are 90 degrees. Supplementary is 180 degrees. So our answer here is letter D. 14. Which among the following statement is always true? A. Two supplementary angles are congruent. B. The complement of any acute angle is acute. C. The supplement of an angle is acute. D. The complement of an angle is obtuse. The answer is letter B. The complement of any acute angle is acute. Remember that you have here 90 degrees for complement. Thus, if it's already acute, then the complement is always acute. Acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So that is the end of our review in math questions part